Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and gives this video a thumbs up. Juliana Pasquarosa may have won The Bachelor Season 29 in Grant Ellis' heart, but her post-show behavior has left a terrible taste in my mouth, particularly in light of Litia Gar's loss. Juliana has been acting arrogantly and bragging about winning the ABC dating show, which comes across as dishonest. Juliana should appreciate her love instead of flaunting it in front of others. Juliana's story on The Bachelor was quite normal. While other cast members from The Bachelor Season 29, she wasn't viewed as a villain, like Carolina Sofia Quezano or Zoe McGrady, but she wasn't a lock to win the entire competition. In reality, Grant hinted throughout the season that he had a greater connection with Litia. In the end, Grant chooses Juliana, and the couple remains engaged. However, Juliana's behavior since the show's finale has been questioned. Since winning The Bachelor Season 29, Juliana has spent a significant amount of time on her TikTok account posting videos about Grant and her engagement. Some of the films appear to be from a woman who is in love and wants to share it with the world. However, some films Juliana has shared appear to be an attempt to show off. Juliana's TikTok post shows her friends and family, including Grant, wearing red caps that read "Final Rose" material. While Juliana did receive the final rose, which made her final rose material, the video appears tone-deaf. To top it off, Juliana described her engagement as winning the show. The purpose of The Bachelor should not be the final rose, but the reality that two people actually fell in love and want to spend their lives together. Litia was disappointed with how The Bachelor Season 29 turned out, and her views were reasonable. Grant encouraged Litia and played mind games with her throughout the season. Grant told Litia time and time again that he would eventually choose her, even when Litia claimed she didn't want him to lie to her or say something he'd have to regret. Litia was distraught when Grant selected Juliana over her, and Juliana hasn't treated her well since the season finished. Juliana is taking Litia's statements too personally and acting out when she shouldn't. Litia is correct to be unhappy with Grant after he caught her off guard, and it is a good thing for Litia to realize she deserves to be treated better than Grant did. Grant and Litia's relationship and subsequent breakup should have no bearing on Grant and Juliana's relationship. Juliana should be relieved that Litia has moved on from Grant, allowing the engaged pair to enjoy their new life together. Instead, she criticizes a woman who was violently dumped on public television. I'd be astonished if Grant and Juliana eventually married. The Bachelor has a very low success record, and Grant has shown no signs that he will be an exception. While many couples leave the final rose ceremony engaged, they typically split up before getting married. Sometimes couples break up before the show ends, as was the case with Peter Weber and Hannah and in Season 24. Other Bachelor leads have been considerably messy. He broke up with his fiancée and married the runner-up. Grant's season of The Bachelor was likewise very messy. Grant wasn't sure who he wanted to propose to until just before the final rose ceremony. In reality, Grant selected an engagement ring without knowing who it would be given to. Grant was one of the leads who felt the least confident about himself heading into the Bachelor finale. Grant and Juliana, on the other hand, agree on key aspects of their relationship. They are ready to take the relationship slowly rather than rushing toward marriage and children, which could explain why Grant selected Juliana over Litia. Only time will tell whether The Bachelor Season 29's lead and winner will end up together. Juliana Pasquarosa may have won The Bachelor Season 29 and, with it, Grant Ellis' final rose, but her behavior since the show's finale has left many viewers questioning whether she truly understands what it means to find lasting love, or whether she simply wanted to win a televised competition. The joy of engagement has curdled into something that feels more performative than sincere, more gloating than grateful. And for fans still mourning the heartbreak of Litia Gar, Juliana's post-finale antics come off as not just tone-deaf but borderline vindictive. It's not that Juliana was ever labeled the villain of the season. That role was reserved for names like Carolina Sofia Quezano, whose cold ambition alienated her from both contestants and viewers, and Zoe McGrady, whose manipulative game-playing stirred up chaos during the earlier weeks. Juliana, in contrast, played a more subtle game. She was smart, poised, and always knew when to speak up and when to hold back. She wasn't the most dramatic or memorable contestant, but she steadily climbed the ranks. And yet, no one watching from home would have confidently bet she'd win. In fact, for much of the season, Grant seemed to be visibly leaning toward Litia. Their connection wasn't just about chemistry, it was emotional, honest, and sometimes raw. Grant opened up to Litia in ways that felt deeper than with any other contestant. He comforted her when she doubted him. He said all the right things when she asked for clarity. And she, in turn, let down her walls, reluctantly, vulnerably. It seemed like a sure thing, until suddenly, it wasn't. The shock of the finale wasn't just that Grant chose Juliana, it was that he did so after stringing Litia along. He reassured her, promised her she was everything he was looking for, and then blindsided her with a breakup moments before proposing to Juliana. And it didn't help that Juliana, instead of offering grace and victory, leaned into the narrative of winning, something that instantly rubbed viewers the wrong way. Since the show wrapped, Juliana has taken to TikTok with relentless energy, posting video after video featuring her and Grant, their families, and their friends all basking in the glow of their new relationship. In theory, that's to be expected. After all, the post-Bachelor period is ripe for influencer deals and branding opportunities. But the tone of some of Juliana's videos has struck a nerve. One video, in particular, showcased a party where her loved ones, Grant included, wore red baseball caps emblazoned with the words, "Final Rose Material." It was meant to be playful, but the execution felt petty, especially in the wake of Litia's heartbreak. The video caption, "When you win the Bachelor and get the guy," was worse. The Bachelor isn't meant to be a competition with losers and winners, but a journey toward a genuine relationship. Juliana's framing of her engagement as a trophy, a triumph over other women, felt antithetical to the show's supposed values. Even worse, Juliana has responded poorly to any criticism. She's clapped back at comments calling her out for insensitivity, liked tweets mocking Litia's tears, and even reposted memes that highlight her own glow-up in contrast to other contestants. The subtle shade is obvious to fans, and to Litia, who has said very little publicly but has quietly unfollowed Juliana and Grant across social media platforms. Litia, meanwhile, has handled the breakup with grace and maturity. In one interview, she said, "I didn't go on The Bachelor to win, I went on hoping to find a connection. I thought I had one, and I was wrong. But I'm proud I stayed true to myself." She didn't bash Grant. She didn't go on a media tour to cry victim. She simply moved on. Thanks for watching. If you likes this video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and do not miss any update.